Q.
Q.
I got something here. I want to see if you know what this is.
A Q.
A Q. That's right.
Yeah, I like that.
Hello and welcome from deep inside Jolly Roger's studio. This is the Q Filmcast, and whether you're listening online worldwide or perhaps nationwide on one of our affiliate stations, thanks for tuning in. If you don't yet know, or perhaps you stumbled upon us by chance, we are the show which brings to you our review of a particular film currently available on Netflix Instant. We take turns queuing it up. We come in, go around the table, and let you know what we thought. This week, we're protecting our honor by queuing up the 2011 film from director Takeshi Miike.
There you go.
There you go. That was a hard
Close.
start.
Got to claim close.
Yeah, well, here comes the title of the film. That's where it really gets tricky, because there's numbers in it, too. We're talking about the film 13 Assassins. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Not the reaction you were looking for.
God, I was proud of myself for some reason. Why?
You built it up so much. And
I did.
13 Assassins.
I started strutting around going, yeah. All right. 13 Assassins from director
Takeshi Miike.
Well, good, now enough of that. So, that's the film. If you've seen it, keep listening to see if you agree or disagree with us, right?
Yep.
And once again, greetings. I am Michael, along with, as always, to my left, James Hard Sub Savage.
What's up, Maestro?
Well, I'm doing okay. I didn't have a band of people trying to impale me with swords, or, I didn't have to commit Harry Carey for any.
We still got some day left.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You have ticked off many people.
Yeah, and then we have Matt.
Hey.
Matt, the patron saint of quality. I want to say outerwear. Give me something else from Japanese.
Samurai wear.
The patron saint of
Samurai wear.
Samurai wear. Yeah.
With that big flashy helmet they have.
Yeah,
Demon
the
mask.
patron saint of flashy helmet things. That's Matt Saint Hoodie. And we have Max Gumbo Johnson. Didn't even hesitate. You are Max Gumbo Johnson. How are you doing today, Max?
I'm good. Welcome to the dojo.
Pain does not exist in this dojo.
Oh, nothing exists in this dojo.
It's an honor to have you in our dojo, Max.
You know what
It's an
exists?
honor to use your dojo, man.
Quality beards exist in this dojo today. Nice.
Not really.
It's getting there, buddy.
It's taken a while.
You're working on it. And then we have the greatest producer in the history of the Q Filmcast, Adam the Bomb Rogers. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
So we're all here. All right, guys, let's get into this real quick. Tell you how to keep up with us before we get into the film. You just Google us. We're out there. We're everywhere.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we're like Billie Jean.
Yeah.
We're
Santa.
everywhere.
Anywhere you want to be, that's where we are.
Right.
We're talking about Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, YouTube. You just Google whatever. The Q Filmcast. We're on all these things.
It'll pop up.
I would suggest you go to our website, theqfilmcast.net, but only after you download the free app, Android app on the Google Play Store. Works marvelously, right? Yeah. See? Yeah. See, it's all the proof you need. Yeah. We love listener feedback, so let us know how we're doing. Or you want to talk about any film that we're reviewing, you want to give us your review or what you thought, you can do that too. theqfilmcast.net. All right, let's get into this thing. 13 Assassins from 2011. Currently available on Netflix Instant Streaming. So, anybody else see this film before we were asked to watch this film?
I had.
You had.
It.
Oh, you did?
I saw most of it.
So I think we all kind of came in cold off the bench, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is, once again, a special episode. You want to know why?
Why?
You ready for this?
Konnichiwa.
Because, this is kind of like a friend of the show episode. What? Kind of a friend of the show episode. Our buddy Cowden, he says, I love the show. I want to pick out something for you. Let me queue up a film. I said, here's the reins. Take it.
Right.
And he said, 13 Assassins. A lot of people want to see it. And our buddy John Cowden, so it's kind of like the Cowden appreciation episode.
Sweet. Thank you, John Cowden, for
There
queuing
you
it
go.
up.
And written and directed by Takeshi Miike.
Did he write it?
He didn't write it.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
No,
He wrote
this screenplay.
It's an
It's
adapted.
actually an adapted screenplay.
It's a remake, actually.
Yeah.
IMDb doesn't lie.
No, it's an adapted
Okay,
screenplay.
writers
This is-
are Kayano Ikijama and Ayusoko, whatever, Tenkan.
Yeah.
IMDb
that was
lied
pretty
to
good,
me.
though. You got to give it to Adam on that
Nailed
one.
it.
That's pretty good.
They're better than Michael would have.
I'm sorry, I don't know where I came up with that. Okay, it was directed by Takeshi Miike,
Right.
who also directed Audition and Ichi the Killer. Haven't seen those. Anybody else?
I own them.
I'm
Yeah,
sure you do.
Those are awesome.
That's the film, guys. 13 Assassins, brought to us by our good friend of the show, John Cowden. Every movie inspires a top three of some sort. And this week, we're going to go with our top three odds are against us moments
Yeah.
The stakes are high.
Right.
When you have no chance, a slim chance of winning,
Don't see a way out of this, but we're going in anyways.
Right.
hey, don't,
Suicide missions.
kind of like starting this podcast show. Don't tell me the odds. That's what we said. Don't tell us the odds.
Yeah, but we're not going to die if it fails.
How do you know? You don't know what we have planned for you.
Michael might have a
You
plan.
don't know my soul.
All right, so the ratings. You have IMDb giving this thing a 7.6.
Yeah.
Hoodie, what's your opinion on that?
Yep.
All right, Max?
I agree with
Shocking?
that. No, not at all.
Is it shocking that Rotten Tomatoes, the critics gave this 96?
That's a little shocking. I'm surprised.
Yeah, what about users at 89? Adam? Bomb?
Sounds good to me. Why
Sounds
not?
good to me. Here's what you have. Let me give you a little bit of a, we call it a rundown. In 1844, the peace of feudal Japan is threatened by cruel Lord Narutetsugu. I sure tried. Thanks. Yeah. I was worried about doing that, and y'all come in and do that.
Yeah.
Him. This guy.
Japanese gibberish.
That's right. And this guy is politically rising and threatens to bring an age of cruelty and servitude to the people. After the hara-kiri of Namiya clan leader Samurai Shinza is summoned by the shogun's advisor to listen to the tragedy of Makino, whose son and daughter-in-law have been murdered by Narasuga. He's then shown the brutal effect of Lord Narasuga's reign as he hears this pleading of a woman whose arms, legs, and tongues have been cut out by Narasuga.
Tongues. All of her tongues were cut out.
Tongue, sorry. Basically, she begs for revenge while writing out her proclamation for revenge with her teeth. From this, Shinza promises to kill Naratsuga. And he gathers 11 other samurais who plot to ambush Naratsuga and his horde of servants. But the cunning samurai Kito, who's responsible for the security of the evil lord, foresees Shinza's intent. Fearing his plan has been compromised, Shinza decides to go with his samurais through the mountains, where they find the hunter Koyota, who becomes the 13th samurai.
Toyota.
Oh,
What a feeling.
oh, what a feeling, Koyota. From there, they are prepared to fight Naratsuga and his army of 200 samurai in a suicide mission to defeat evil. Sorry about that.
So what's
It was a long movie. So.
But it was good. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, this is where we usually play a trailer or a piece from the film. I think we're going to do that. We have no idea what's coming here, unless someone stole the trailer or something.
It happens.
It does happen from time to
I
time.
never would have thought it happened, but it happens.
You will be as surprised as we are, I promise. Here's a piece from 13 Assassins from 2011.
And now, another episode of Samurai Dry Cleaner.
Excuse me, we're here to pick up our shirts. You said you'd have them ready by today? Oh, yes, dear. Do you have the ticket?
Yes, here. But
There you go.
what?
Oh, that's wonderful. You did a great job. Oh, wait a minute. Look at that spot. Right there. I mean, you said you could get that out. I mean, you promised. I was counting on it. Wait a minute.
Okay, so there you have it. There's a piece from, we think, we think it is, 13 Assassins, 2011, written and directed. Nope, sorry, wait. Directed.
No.
Correct that. Just directed by Takeshi Miike. Did you know? Nope. Did you know that director Takeshi Miike is 52, but he's a little over 5 foot 4 inches tall? Small guy.
What does that matter?
That's amazing.
I don't know. I went into the did you know? And that was the first thing that popped
Wait,
up.
he's 50 and 5'4"?
Yeah, I mean,
this
did
is
you-
This just went
So he's
crazy.
average height for a Japanese guy.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
We might as well just end the show now because my mind is just blown.
Listen,
I don't even want to talk about the movie. I want to talk about
you know what's funny? I
I'll
look
never
up
be able
facts,
to focus on anything.
and
else.
usually the first one's kind of a mind-blowing fact. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe this is something I'm not. Okay, we'll put it out there. It was the first one.
maybe that's tall.
Yeah, maybe that's tall. Maybe there's something about that I'm not reading. But anyways, yeah, that's supposed to blow your mind. He's a little over 5 foot 4 inches tall.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Did you know that this film is a remake of the late director, I'm not going to say the name, 1963 black and white Japanese film with the same name? Did you know this is
I
a
knew
remake?
that was a remake.
Yes.
Wait, we were supposed to watch the remake?
I watched the wrong movie.
That should have been your indicator that he didn't write it.
Okay, sorry.
Heck, I think I said that. This was a remake.
Actor Yakusho, 56 years old, stars in the lead.
How tall is he?
Doesn't know.
5'6".
I think he's 5'6" and a quarter.
Right.
Stars as the lead assassin. He also played the lead in Shall We Dance, a Japanese film which inspired the dance craze in the country and Hollywood remake starring Richard Gere. He is basically a Japanese Richard Gere.
Wow.
Okay.
Did you know that?
Whoa.
All right.
And it was directed by a guy that's only 5'4".
That's incredible. How'd he look into the camera?
I have no idea.
And
All
he
right.
got a big
Enough
camera.
of enough.
He's Japan's Woody Allen.
Enough of did you know? Let's talk about what we thought. What do you say?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm going to go to Max. I'm going to go over to Max. The Max. Can I go to you first?
Sure. Are we giving our ratings here?
We are. We're
Our
talking
ratings?
about 1 through 10 Harry Carries, guys.
Is that our currency?
We talked. Didn't we talk about that earlier?
The baseball announcer?
Oh, wait a second. We need to.
Yeah, we haven't
Darn it all.
decided.
You gave it away. Just keep going.
That's it. All right. 1 to 10 Harry.
So you look like you're kind of busting the guy out of the gate for some reason. I'm sensing that, Max.
I was gonna really come out strong on this, but then I heard Takeshi Miike was 5'4", and I don't know where to go from there.
I'm intimidated too,
I
buddy.
don't know what to think. So I like the movie. I really liked it. It's how original can you get with a samurai movie? To be honest, it's kind of like the Japanese Western. They're all the same thing. But it was well done. I liked it. They had some great characters, good development. I'm going to give it 7 Harry Carey. I will kill myself 7 times.
That's a lot of men dying honorably for something they believe in.
Yeah.
Matt St. Hoodie, what are you going to give this? How many Harry Carries are you going to give 13 Assassins?
On the first viewing, I watched it about halfway through, and I turned it off and watched Izumi. And then I read the synopsis online and went back and watched it again, and it made a lot more sense. And I'm sitting between a 7 and an 8 right now.
Okay.
I'm going to go with a 7 with Max.
7 with Max.
It's way better on the second view.
Let's go over to Hearts Up Savage, man. We're talking about Harry Carries. We're talking about 1 through 10. We're talking about 13 Assassins.
And 5'4" guys.
That's a lot of numbers, man, but sort it all out for us. What are you going to give this film?
Got to go with Hoodie here. I mean, it's better on the second viewing because I had seen this film before, and it's like Max said, it's a samurai film. So
yeah,
you've seen some samurai films. The second viewing, this is arguably the best samurai film I've ever seen, and I would give it a 10, but there's a couple things that hold me back, so I'm giving it a strong 9.
I want to go last. I'm feeling last here, so I'm going to go over to the producer. Greatest producer in the history of the Q Filmcast, Adam the Bomb Rogers. How many times are you going to commit Harry Carey, Doug?
Well, when I saw this, I saw it in 2 different movies.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like 2 separate movies. And the first part, I liked it. I gave it a 9. And the second half of this movie, I didn't like it as much, even though it was the epic battle scene. And I give it a 7. So total, I'm going to go 8.
Going to go 8. Man, everybody's high on this film.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I've heard that. You know, when you look at this film's reviews and how people think about this film, that comes up a lot. It's like 2 different films. All right, for me, let me tell you. First thing, let me set this up. You know, nothing will make me leave a room like a kung fu movie. I mean,
I know.
honest to God, you put that on. I would rather watch hours of Adam's movie collection than one kung fu or anything that even resembles it. Okay, so I don't know why I threw it out there. I just felt like you needed to know that.
Right.
Okay.
That's Chinese and this is Japanese. So
Yeah, and okay, this is Cowden's pick. Everybody loves it. I don't want to be the odd man out, but I'm going to have to be. I thought this was just absolute sheer buffoonery.
What?
From one, I'm giving it's hard for me to even give it a 4, but I'm going to give it a 4. This was
Wow.
What?
I thought you would even go higher
God,
on this one.
This film. But it's one man's opinion. What are we going to do?
Did you watch it again? No.
No.
It's way better on the
you gotta
second
see it the
view.
second time.
Oh my God.
Okay, what about the beginning, the story part?
Let's talk about that when we
Yeah,
kind of
well,
review
okay.
it up. I got a place to go with it.
Okay.
You know, may not have to commit Harry Carey. It looks like you guys are going to kill me.
I'm quite disappointed in you.
No,
Mike.
I'm pretty
no.
sure we're going to put a 5 in front of
Yeah,
that
no.
4.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
no.
Might be 5'4".
I'm giving this. I'm going to give this a 4 just out of kind of respect and honor.
35.
35.
35
Okay.
Harry Careys.
That's amazing.
Thanks for dragging it down.
Hey,
Michael
what do you
San.
want? I can't apologize for what I am.
So you're lame?
Don't you judge me, sir.
4 Harry Careys. That's all.
Let's get into why and how. Okay, how we landed on these numbers, how we landed on our reviews, and basically our ratings. Okay. And we're talking about 13 Assassins from 2011. Why don't we go back to where we started from a minute ago, and that's Max Gumbo Johnson. You went a little high up the ladder.
I could have gone higher. You know, you can break it down into 2 movies. You can break it down into a story of a struggle for freedom and redemption and stuff like that, and to get rid of this despot that's ruling the country and killing everybody. And you can then break it down into just a 45-minute action set piece.
Literally 45 minutes.
It's literally
yeah.
45 minutes long. With a movie like this, you could basically just have stock characters, just, okay, this is the guy that's this is the guy that's that, this is the guy that's that. You know who they are, the cardboard cutouts, boom, you throw them in there, and let's get on with the action. And they don't do that. There's a backstory to all these guys. They all have sort of their own motivations to be there, and it takes its time to let you get a little knowledge of all these guys, and I appreciate that they actually invested the time to make a story behind this and actually have some real characters in here. So it gets high marks for me for that. And then the action pieces, any karate movie or samurai movie like this, you got to suspend your disbelief a pretty good bit. I mean, because there's
Like when you're sitting there going, why doesn't someone just take a gun out and just shoot somebody?
Well, that's not that, but like there's 4 guys standing behind him with a sword. It's like, okay, why don't they just stab him in the back?
Yeah.
I guess, you gotta think in your mind, well, I guess that's dishonorable for them. They're not going to do that. But they're a bunch of scumbags, so why wouldn't they do it? So you kind of got to watch it with a grain of salt with that sort of thing. But overall, I thought it worked. I was invested in the character. I felt bad when they died. I was just like, oh man, what's a bummer. This guy got killed. Spoiler alert.
Someone dies in a samurai film?
Yeah. But yeah, I liked it. I thought they did a good job of balancing the action with the emotional arcs here that kept popping up throughout the story. So that's mine. That's my summary. Some summary.
Some samurai summary?
Yeah.
I'm going to get back to you, sir. I took notes on everything you said. I'm going to get back to you.
You did not take one note.
Oh, you want me to go now?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why
Okay,
not?
I like this.
Yeah,
All right.
Mr. 4.
Mr. 4. Well, listen, I wish I could say nicer things about this film. Everything you said you liked about this film was what ticked me off. There was no backstory, nothing to invest me with these guys. I'll tell you one thing I did like, though. The thing kind of starts out nice with the nice Harry Carey scene. It like those little hooks that kind of pull you in. It's like, okay, I have something to work with here, right?
Right.
And a lot of the opening to me, you say the 2 halves. I like the first half. At least there was something there. All right. It had like this big idea. It's giving you big ideas. We get the Harry Carey. We get the murderous villain. We get the big themes. You know, it's all about honor. Aren't they all? Fighting the odds, all this sort of thing. So I was like, okay, I got the pieces. You know, give me something to work with. I also kind of like the political angle. You know, how these guys are going to pull off this big heist sort of thing, you know,
Kinda, yeah.
To what cost? I like the setup. It kind of, it gave me somewhere where I wanted to go.
It was a setup thing, yeah.
There was a setup. I kind of like that. And then we start to meet these samurai. We see that they're different. They're soon going to come together, like Max said, these backstories. And I'm thinking, okay, we're going to get a little bit of a Dirty Dozen thing going on here.
Right.
And I was anxious to see how all these guys were going to band together for a common cause, you know, how they're going to rely on each other, what their individual journeys are going to be inside this big quest. It was like, okay, there's going to be tension here. They're going to find ways to become one unit. And you talk about a fumble. I think the ball just fell right off the tee there. It was just a ridiculous mess after that. I mean, there's no point even going into the plot. I didn't even see one for myself. It's just a heaping run-of-the-mill layer of honor is good. Dying for honor is good. There is no honor and power, all this sort of stuff. Just nonsense to me. That's the way I saw it. And that's just the theme. I thought the movie was actually worse than that.
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
There's just no camaraderie to me. I didn't sense it with the people. There's no backstory as to why this guy is so sinister. I mean, nothing to pull from. I mean, all you know is the guy's a bad guy. He does this bad stuff. But like in any a villain movie, it's the personality that hooks you in with the guy. It's his attitude. It's his swagger.
Completely disagree.
This guy had
He
nothing.
killed a kid with an arrow.
Okay, he did that. That's fine. That's a terrible scene.
In front of his family.
Yeah, okay, he did that. It's awful. Okay, that's an awful scene. But what is it about the guy that makes me despise him?
Then it took him 3 shots to hit the
or
kid.
that almost make me want to cheer for the guy. I thought that was the lamest villain I've ever seen.
Wow,
You're missing
I really like the
something.
bad
No.
guy.
You're missing
Now
something.
listen, and then we get this band of characters going off down the road to fight this guy I could care less about. I mean, come on, I know he's evil and all, but there's no personality. You couldn't even write a bit of personality for me to despise?
There's just enough there.
Okay, let me wrap this up then. Okay, we get into what should be the subplot, the underlying tensions, how all these guys are different going together. We get nothing. All we get them is rambling around the jungle, terrified of bugs. Okay?
They were leeches, and
Okay.
that was a big bug.
And then we get the big payoff. All right, you get this ridiculous Home Alone style ambush thing. It literally went on for 45 minutes.
Yeah,
It-
it
all
did.
right.
Yeah.
It's an epic battle scene for sure.
and then it just became this typical chop suey nonsense. Like it's
typical. There's nothing typical.
no, it's
about
just
this.
typical. It's a bad musical. You say, well, these scenes are ridiculous. This is just a musical with swords. It's just contrived.
There was no music in that entire 45
That's not my
minutes.
point. My point is that these are all contrived scenes. Everybody take your places now, twirl and die. And you see these guys. It's a group of 10 guys getting slaughtered, and they
So
stay
you
in
hate
the
every action movie ever made.
No. This was just a musical. If you look at it, it's like Pirates of Penzance.
I don't know what that is.
It's not at all.
These are not realistic battle scenes. These are just
I disagree totally.
Okay, all
overly
All right,
constructed.
enough.
We
Next
get it.
person.
All right. Let me just tell you this. Here,
We get
okay?
it.
To me, it was Home Alone, though. All right.
We heard that.
Okay.
I kept waiting for Joe Pesci to pop out and go, I'm going to boil your cojones in motor oil. And it's just this typical dying with honor stuff. So, and then the bulls.
Okay, next.
The flaming bulls.
Who's next?
I'll get back in the
flaming
bulls.
Was pretty lame, but
yeah, that was pretty lame. It looked
like
got
set on fire.
It looked like the thing that chased Rick Moranis around in Ghostbusters. Go ahead, Savage. Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll pick up on the flaming bulls. The reason I didn't give this a 10 is because of the flaming bulls. That is why. If the flaming bulls hadn't been in this film, I would have given it a 10. This is arguably the best samurai film you will ever see. It's beautifully shot. It's wonderfully acted. It's wonderfully directed. It's tragic. It's poignant. It explores themes of obedience and morality and righteousness in ways that are foreign to, yes, I'm going to say it, our American sensibilities.
Thank God. I like my American sensibilities.
I'm not demeaning our American sensibilities. It's just something that's foreign to us.
Go figure.
The concept of suicide because of dishonor is something that's completely alien to us.
I don't think that I'm just over here unable to grasp these things.
No, and I understand that. This is where I just disagree. You're saying that this movie is just a cliche, stereotype version of these things. And yes, these themes are represented over and over, like Max said. This is the Westerns. Unforgiven is not an original film. I know you love that film. It's well done, it's well acted, it's well shot. This, I think, and I kept going back to that when I was watching it. This is like an Unforgiven Japanese movie.
Boy, I can't go there with you.
Well, and that's fine, and I respect your opinion. But to me, this is a brilliant, brilliant film. The acting in this is powerfully done. And to me, the evil prince, which is a theme that's, the despotic power, it's a theme that repeats over and over and over.
Every Disney movie does it.
Well, yeah. The prince said more about the nature of the samurai through his actions. What is obedience? What is the true code of Bushido? You obey or you serve your master. And if I do this, you serve me. And he spoke more to what the true nature of samurai was because he forced them to follow his derangement and with no question. And that's why the main guy, Shinzo, when he was asked to assassinate this guy and he saw the mutilated, raped victim, which is very Shakespearean. I mean, that's lifted completely from Titus Andronicus. When he saw that and was able to, that warrior spirit was invoked in him.
That was the most interesting part of that film for me. From that point, I was ready to go. And when I say fell off the tee, that's about where it happened for me.
Well, it's the time frame too. It's like it's a time of peace, and they established that way throughout the thing, and so you understand how 13 people could kill ultimately 500. I think people 200. Well, they call that, but that's in the book. It was written as 200, and that's why they use that word.
70 in the original.
But if you do the clicker thing, it's closer to 500 because they mass murder some people in that.
Yeah, and that's really not that big a. I mean, I'm saying this, but. To look at the movie, you would have thought that these guys were killing 50 men each, which is what they wanted you to see. But if you do the math on this, 13 guys would have to kill about 15 guys.
Yeah.
Which they did 30 times over.
Yeah.
So at all times, they were each guy was surrounded by what seemed like, a little small army all to himself. But that was just for the epicness. They just wanted to kind of feed into what these guys were actually going through.
Right.
Yeah. So, after the rooftop scene, they had 130, so they had 10 to kill each.
That's one of the things that really upset me was because after they, corralled them into the town and they closed the gates, which was
they must have built those overnight, by the way.
That's what I said, and the tracks too that they were on to get them to go so fast.
Sound like metal coming together.
Oh yeah, loved it. I that's one of the things Max was saying. You kind of had to forgive about it, but they had arrows. And they were on rooftops.
Yeah.
But they didn't use all the arrows. Why would you not use all your arrows?
All the arrows, right?
Well, I mean, geez, if I'm about to jump down there with a sword, I'm going to use all my arrows first.
And they had grenades.
Obviously.
I'm surprised one of them didn't get tarred and feathered when he walked through the door and hit the fan.
Well, it's
almost... We did have the paint can to the face with the guy twirling around. I don't know if you saw that.
But it's almost it's like a reversal of the Seven Samurai, whereas the town hired the samurai to protect the town. Where they bought out on this one, they bought out the town so that they could do their business. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a neat twist.
Okay,
because it's lifted, especially the character from the forest it's directly lifted from the Kurosawa film, the Seven Samurai,
which I think you probably assumes a better film. Is that right, Max?
Oh,
yeah. Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's a good. I'm not knocking Seven Samurai, but there's something visually that is. This is a beautiful, beautiful film.
No doubt.
And,
Oh, I'm not saying it's not a good-looking film.
And
but
I didn't know anything about Takeshi Miike before I watched this film, and apparently this ain't what he does.
No, it's not.
No.
And so some of the grotesqueries in this film, like the chopping, the sound effects, that
the gore.
And there wasn't a whole lot of. I mean, the
But
gore in this film
there was some there.
didn't seem out of place. It seemed,
No, it doesn't.
And even the cruelty of the prince didn't seem out of place. It just seemed like that was his character. So there was nothing ever gratuitous about this.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff Miike is
I've
really
learned
good at.
that.
Now, how can I ask Max this question? How do you rate this film with his other films?
It's up there with his better movies.
You think so?
Yeah, because I've seen quite a. The guy's made
80.
I mean, he's like
Yeah.
80 movies.
A lot of films. Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, and
Okay.
most of them.
See, I want you guys to do some talking because apparently I missed it. What I missed was the heart of this film. I sensed nothing. At the end, I just did not resonate with one thing these people were feeling. There was no internal struggle.
The heart of this, to me, was that you had the two guys that came from the same dojo
Yeah.
that have been fighting each other their whole lives,
Yeah.
and now you have one guy who's defending this guy that he knows is bad. But like James was saying, this is the samurai way. You follow your shogun, you follow your
Right.
master. So it was kind of like honor versus ethics, almost.
Yeah.
So you have the
Honor versus duty, maybe.
not duty. I mean, because you had Shensu, who was he was leading the 13.
Shinza.
All right,
Shinza,
so he was leading the 13 guys in out of ethics, right?
Right.
Not honor. I mean, this was going against what he's known his whole life as a samurai. You don't kill your master, you just don't do it. But you had these two guys going head to head. They're obviously friends. They're obviously evenly matched. They know each other really well.
Right.
And that was the heart of the movie for me. So you see, and you kind of on the second viewing, you get to see a little more deeper into.
I was hoping
all
there would be
these-
more pull and press with these guys. There was something coming to head with these guys.
I think that
You never
would.
got it.
Well, yeah,
They weren't together most of the movie, so there really couldn't be that
but
much.
it was very well established that they knew each other like the back of their hand. I mean, I thought that was well, at least on the second viewing, because on the first viewing, and I saw right up to the fight scene. I didn't, like Adam was saying, it's definitely two halves of this movie. I watched the first part twice, and that's where you really kind of get a sense of who these are as individuals, and you can start picking out their personalities and how they're kind of fighting each other, like internally,
Right,
like
right.
the inner turmoil of the
Yeah.
group.
Right.
You kind of pick up on that a little bit.
Maybe
more.
I need to because I didn't get that. And that's really what I wanted. When I watched
Right.
this thing, I had a cup of coffee. I was alive. I wanted to get into it. And it was just like, pew, for me. Okay.
Like I said, on the second viewing, I really picked up more of the backstory. The gambling guy,
Yeah,
the
the
actual
nephew.
the Ronin, and the young adolescent guy that this
Yeah.
was like he's a novice, he hasn't done this before, this is his first kill.
Yeah.
The old guy that's hired into it, you really start to pick
Oh,
up
the
on all.
old guy. I mean, he was like a beast.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
And really, and on the first viewing, I was like, you got a bunch of guys wearing the same robes with the same haircut. I don't know who's who.
Right.
This doesn't make any sense. And I
Okay.
got so bored, I turned it off.
Yeah, because
and on
that's
second viewing,
Mhm.
it was easier to pick them out, to know their personalities, and to kind of follow them through this whole story
Yeah.
as individuals to the
Mhm.
point where, like Max was saying, that at the end you're like, oh, Ronan bought it.
I had kind of the opposite effect. I was invested in the first half. I was like, all right, let's get ready to go. And then the
Yeah.
payoff spoiled for me. It's like that battle scene. It's like after 15 minutes, I was just kind of looking at my watch going, how much longer?
No, I thought it was great.
I never got bored a second.
Not
of
a
that.
second.
And there's not a lick of music in it. There's not a lick of score music to tell you how to
Right.
feel. It's just sound and.
But don't
and
you think that
and
it gets
visual.
a little overdone when you just have like 10 guys waiting in the wings, and then they go get killed. And then the next, all right, guys, take your places. The next
Well,
15.
no.
And then they get killed. And then they get killed. And then they get. It's
I
just-
understand your point, but I think.
But again,
it's-
that's a samurai movie,
it's-
Okay.
so you know what you're getting into.
I need to
That's
watch more kung fu movies.
Not
It's
really.
not a kung fu movie. It's a
Oh, is it
samurai
not?
Well, you need to watch more good kung fu movies and more good samurai.
I've never watched
because
another
there's
kung
plenty
fu
of good
movie.
ones out there,
Yeah,
and
I'm
you're
not gonna
just
do it.
denying yourself of them because they're kung fu movies.
No,
Well,
I've
they're
watched
samurai
plenty.
movies.
I can't do a kung fu movie.
You got to give this like a point for the choreography of the sword fighting.
When you see choreography, that's all it is. It is literally, I'm looking at a musical in my mind.
I didn't think that. I don't think it was that choreographed.
It absolutely was. To me, it was.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
it's-
too nice looking. It was great. And you didn't have
Yeah.
like the crazy jumps and like
Yeah,
the
the
blood
wire
like
food
splashing
stuff.
out and just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
gallons of waves of blood.
And by the way, we're talking about the 2011 film, 13 Assassins from director
I also do want to mention that he did try to
Takeshi Miike.
Takashi. There were lots of little comic elements in this that were blatantly thrown in to like ease the tension.
Yeah.
But I thought that the director did a really nice job of like building the tension through the first hour of the movie with the part that you liked, I guess. the tension was just it was so thick you could cut it with a knife. By the time they actually got to the battle, I was ready to go.
Ready to go, yeah. No.
I was ready to go to bed.
But the comic elements kind of failed me.
Oh, you talking about the guy, Koyota.
Or
right?
the leeches on the skin, or like the little remarks that they would make.
Okay.
I was like, all right. Sometimes it was funny. Most of the time, I was like, yeah, you're killing me.
Yeah, some of it's lost in translation. I mean, Japanese does not translate to American easily. But
Funny's funny.
Well, yeah, but it didn't translate. I mean, you ever watch a Japanese game show?
Yeah, they're hilarious.
But you don't understand why.
It doesn't matter.
You literally
they're
couldn't have
hilarious.
answered that any better.
It isn't because of their words.
Nope.
Right.
I think
So it
I think
doesn't
the
translate.
original Iron Chef is hilarious. I can't stop laughing. I have no idea what they're saying or what they're doing, but it's hilarious. I watch it just because it's so funny.
Because the delivery is so abrupt and so strong.
It's craziness.
And just,
It's totally crazy.
yeah.
And they're
so passionate.
and they're
almost,
all in with all their jokes. They're
all
just-
in. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah.
How about you, Adam?
Yeah, we didn't go over to Adam. Adam, you wrap it up here with what you think of this film. Talk about it.
Takeshi Miike, I like the guy a lot. I like a lot of his movies, but this one I went from like to love. He got it perfect. This has got great dialogue. I thought it had great storytelling, and I love the fact that he used these grizzled men. He didn't use these young, known actors and stuff like that. Well, these guys are probably well known.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that he just used older actors and stuff for this. He didn't use the good-looking guys, you know.
He didn't use us, did he?
No.
Let's talk about some of the scenes. What was your favorite scene of this film, Adam?
How can you not go with the whole epic battle?
So you really bought into the 45-minute epic scene. To you,
love
that
the
defines
battle.
this film.
Yeah, I love the battle, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of shots and things that they could have done different. Like Matt was saying, they had arrows, they had grenades, they had
And
this
where did
oil
they get 90 swords to just stick in the ground? Did they carry that with them the whole time? I didn't see
Well,
that.
they
and
bought
then-
it. They
yeah,
bought
and
them
then-
all.
Obviously, my bad. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and then the stupid gates, I couldn't buy into that a lot. But one big thing I couldn't stand about this was there's the guy who committed Harry Carey on the bridge.
Which one? Oh, the second guy.
Yeah, he had an army. Why not use that army also to battle these guys instead of these guys?
It goes into the way of the
dishonorable.
samurai
Yeah,
and
it's
the honor and
dishonorable.
all that. Yeah.
Well, first off, if he would have just gone and attacked Sugar Nougat, whatever his name was.
Sugar Nougat? What are you talking about? That sounds like a candy bar. Is that what they ate back then?
Here, I
That's a
would-
sugar daddy.
Oh,
Sugar
sugar
Nougat.
nougat sounds
Not
good.
Sugar.
Can you get that with almonds?
Sugar
Like-
Nougat. If he'd have gone and attacked Sugar Nougat, they would have ruined the other guy's plan. And first off, they wouldn't have beat Sugar Nougat's army. He didn't have enough guys, so it was a standout. Second
well,
off,
13 beat them.
No, it
But
was a diversion.
it was yeah.
They were channeling him into that village.
They were trying to make him go the other way.
But it was disrespectful of him to block his passage, and that's why he had to do that.
He also said that the only reason he was alive was to tell that story about his daughter and
Yeah.
And
son-in-law
son-in-law,
dying. And as soon as he did that and made sure something was going to happen, he should have committed Harry Carey a long time ago. So that was him making good on his word of
And they also said he committed Harry Carey to erase any evidence of any wrongdoing.
Right.
He said
Yeah.
he did this so that
was
nobody
on
can
him.
come back and,
And so
say,
all
hey,
the-
so and so, blah blah blah. Yeah,
You know, I did like the opening scene, talk about Harry Carey. That is a great opening shot.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was beautiful in itself because it's put against this backdrop of such self-mutilation and brutality. And I also liked how the Japanese text was coming up on the side,
Yeah.
kind of rolled out at you.
Mhm.
Had a nice flair to it, man. Had a nice, interesting look. I like
But
the
it-
pre-credit stuff. I mean,
not
it kinda got
particularly.
me.
That's in a lot of Japanese movies.
Oh, I don't watch enough of
It's
them.
called the opening credits.
That's one of the most popular.
That's how they do it.
That's one of the most.
Really, is it? Okay.
You can say popular. I'll say classic.
Well,
Where can-
yeah, it's a classic. It's
But
Okay.
but the whole
classic
beginning
or
is
popular foreign theme that Americans we don't understand that.
Well, I'm not
We
going to
don't-
apologize for
No, and I'm
understanding.
not asking for
Yeah.
an apology. I'm just saying it is a very popular or classic theme that we see from Japanese films.
Yeah, because it's always about
the
honor
concept
and
of
the-
Harry Carey.
Right. I
This
understand.
concept,
Yeah.
it starts off and we understand that. All right, we're watching a Japanese film because this guy's sticking a sword in his gut.
it was
You
in
know?
Wolverine too.
And it was in Harold and Maude.
Right.
Yes, it was.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's such a foreign concept to us. It's like we would never
We're
do
so
that.
familiar with Harry
Yeah,
Carey.
I
by
mean,
now.
No,
Yeah,
wait,
man.
I
Everyone
know.
knows what
I'm
Harry
familiar
Carey
with
is.
Americans, and I know none of us would ever do that.
I could
for
go
the
to
sake of
Kroger
honor.
right now and ask 9 out of 10 people will know what a Harry Carey is.
But I
That's
think he's
what I'm
talking
saying.
about
It's
what
popular.
it means to us. In our
yeah,
perception.
I think. Okay.
I think
acceptable.
I
I think-
I understand what you're saying. That it's a foreign concept to actually do it.
To actually
Exactly.
do it. That's
and,
right.
and what it means and
Exactly.
why you would do
You'll
it.
never see a western like some. Oh, I got to stick this gun in my head because he disrespected me.
I understand the vantage point. I understand the big ideas. I can grasp that. But
Right.
in the end, you're still watching a story about people that you have to care about. And for me, the themes stayed big. They never got intricate. I never saw any dynamic between anybody. It was just like a big sketch. With
Really?
it was a big sketch with a big dance routine.
They had their jobs to do.
Well, I'll tell you where it sold me the second time. And the first time, I'll give you this. I'm with Matt. The first time, it was just kind of a cliche samurai movie. It's just like you run through the mud, chop suey kind of stuff. The second time, man, when he opens up, when he slides that screen back and you see that mutilated girl, but when he sees her and he starts shaking and then he starts smiling.
And he says, "Oh, this is a warrior shake."
Yeah, and he goes...
It means I've got to go to battle, is what it means.
Fate has smiled on me. When he says that, I'm in. Right then, I'm in. He's at a place where he has within his power to stop evil, and I'm on board with him at that point.
You know when I said I like the political angle of it? I liked it's like, okay, we're going to go behind the curtain here, and we're going to figure out how to do this while all eyes are on us. And I liked that. I was cool with all that. It was the second part that got me.
He was down.
I was down with it. Hey, where can I get one of those sugar shih tzus?
Sugar nougat?
Sorry.
Sugar nuggets.
I may have to edit that.
Right. Sugar nuggets.
Stop at the little...
It's in your cereal aisle at the local Kroger.
All I can think about is this candy bar he keeps talking about.
I bet you $20 at that little place we stop after
Really?
Mexican food. I bet they got something in there called a sugar nougat.
Right.
The Japanese candy bar. I had no
No,
idea.
a Mexican candy bar.
What were you talking about? Oh, never mind. All right, Max, what was your favorite part of this? Favorite scene? Forget the big clash at the end, the 45-minute
The 45-minute
battle.
battle scene?
What else worked for you? We spent a lot of time
Well,
talking
this
about
actually
that,
happened after the 45-minute epic battle scene.
Okay.
Was the meeting of the two friends / mentors, the guys that were great
Hanbei
friends.
and Shinzo.
Yeah, Hanbei and Shinzo. Yeah, that's right. The meeting between them, because they were sitting there fighting, and he was trying to protect the guy because he was doing it out of honor, and he said, "I got to do this. Sorry, boy, this is what I got to do. This is what we do. We're samurai." And then he told him, he said, "Oh, I've always wanted to, get back in the ring with you, and he said, I always knew you were better than me." But they've also said, we're even. The whole movie was building towards those two
That's exactly
finally
what it was.
meeting.
Exactly.
And when it finally happened, it wasn't over in 2 seconds. It built up, and you kind of saw this tension between these two, and the mutual respect between them. Go ahead.
No, just to add to that, when Hanbei saw him, he starts taking off his armor because he knows this is to the death.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, this armor is not going to protect me from this guy, so forget about it.
Forget about it.
What I liked most about that scene was right after the one guy kills the other one, and you see the head fall off, but it's always hidden behind a sword. And then each time they showed the head being kicked around, it's always hidden a lot.
Probably because it looked really bad.
No, it looked good. Well, glad they did.
Now, that's one scene I did like. By the way, we're talking about the 2011 film 13 Assassins, Japanese movie. Was the disrespect he had while he was kicking the one guy's head. And what did he say there? I thought that was kind of an interesting...
You're talking about in the end scene?
Yeah. Right. He said something about...
He ran up to him and said, "How can you kick his head?"
That's right.
Said he gave his life to protect you.
And what did he say? I can't remember. It was kind of profound.
He said
yeah,
that.
yeah. No, the evil guy said something profound.
Anyways, I like that. Okay.
He said... what is it? Rulers are born to rule, and servants are born to serve. Something to that effect.
Yeah.
And he said even sometimes the servants have to rise up to strike the ruler. He said something like
remember.
that. I'm disappointed that I didn't care more about the people because you brought up Unforgiven, right? And to me, who brought up Unforgiven?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing I loved about that film was the morality of it. What are the consequences of me living a life where I'm using violence all the time, where I'm a part of this violence?
Well, like a samurai?
You could kind of, yeah, but it's like that whole story was based on the fallout from that, the fallout of being this person.
Right.
What's the right and wrong? How am I going to live with myself, kind of thing? And it's that darkness that's kind of lurking and how you deal with it. I was expecting that here at the end too, just the weight of it and the gravity of all this consequence. Yeah. And I didn't really pick up on it, so maybe I just lost it.
Well, I thought the prince or the shogun's brother. I mean, he was pure in his own way. He didn't perceive himself as evil. He perceived himself as just a force of ruler, leadership. He was born to rule. They were born to follow and
get out of the way.
Yeah. I think he asked the most profound questions about their culture. I mean, what is the cost of obedience? What is the price of morality? Ultimately, Hanbei had the answer, or Shinzo had the answer. It was like, the price of morality is your ass. So.
Now hand me one of those candy bars. Let's go home.
We can't talk about this movie and not talk about the total massacre. The thing that she wrote with her mouth, crying and bleeding all over it.
I dug that.
No, and listen, it's the cheesiest part of the movie, but when he held that sign up, he's standing on the bridge, facing two of the guys, holds that up and just lets it go. I was like, that is so freaking cool. I love this guy.
That's a mic drop.
And it looked like a painting, too. Okay. It was beautifully done.
Yeah, but the bad guy, he never knew what it was for. I guarantee it.
Doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter.
He
held
knows
it up,
what Total
but the
Massacre
other guy's
means.
like, okay, it says Total Massacre. It's like, oh, you're about to
And
kill
it's
me.
written poorly.
Man, she wrote with her mouth pretty good, though,
Yeah.
with the teeth and the brush. I thought that turned out pretty nice.
You obviously don't know Japanese calligraphy, my friend.
Yeah. My American sensibilities are getting in the way. Hey, listen, I know a good candy bar when I hear about one, too. I want one of those things.
What about you, Mush?
Totally
What's your
awesome.
favorite scene?
I like the scene. It's supposed to be a shocking scene. You see this girl with the no arms, no legs.
Yeah.
It brought me in. I like the beginning scene. I liked these guys sitting around.
Hanging out.
Well, they're in the dojo, whatever you call it, and they're interviewing more or less these guys for the 13 Assassins.
Yeah.
There's one scene in particular where the one guy leaves his wife, and he's obviously
The nephew.
He's a playboy. He's in disarray. He really doesn't have a direction until he sees that now my life has a place to go, and I might have to give my life for it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it clicked with him. It's okay. I got to do this. That honor was still deep down intact, and he left. He left the girl, and he went off to basically be a part of this. I thought that was nice. That's where I had some character development, and to me, that's about the best of the character development.
I like
That goes back to the gambling too. He was the gambler,
Yeah.
who was gambling the most lame gambling game. Odds are even.
Well, you
Come
gotta-
on, 50,
yeah.
Did that not remind y'all of the
Wake and Fright.
Wake and Fright?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I
was
thought
waiting
of that
for one
too.
of those guys to get taken
Yeah.
out in the outback.
I guess what I took from that film was once you're a samurai and once
You're born into it.
you're born into it, it never leaves you because you're thinking, okay, this guy's obviously he's not going to go for this, but he did instantly. There was no question.
Yeah.
He was in. Okay,
Yeah.
so I like that scene. But was I the only one who thought of Ghostbusters when those fools were running down the street?
Yep.
Really? You
didn't
didn't
think
see
of
Rick
Ghostbusters.
Moranis? You didn't want to see
Anyway.
Rick Moranis run? Okay.
No, I didn't.
Back to what I was saying
Yeah.
before you guys interrupted me and then talked for 5 minutes, unbeknownst that I was interrupted.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah,
but
happens
You
all
meant
the
my Harry
time.
Carey.
No, the lucky guy, dude sitting at the table gambling. They
Right.
said, "Oh, you're
The
lucky."
nephew.
He's like, "Don't talk to me. You'll take my luck." He's the only one that survived the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky guy.
I have to ask this of somebody. Coyote, the guy they found in the tree. He gets his sword through the neck.
Yep.
He dies, okay?
He's a demon.
In the end, obviously, he's a spirit of some sort. What did you take out of that? What was the meaning behind it? What am I supposed to get from that?
He's probably just a cursed demon. They live in the woods in Japan.
Yeah.
That's pretty common belief
Yeah.
in Japan is that demons live in the woods. So they picked up a demon. He kind of was there for the ride. He's probably been there a couple of years.
He was very cynical. He's a samurai.
I love that
bad.
guy.
The
I
whole
thought it was
thing's
great.
bad. And at the end, he was going to go off and back to his woman.
Who died how many
Yeah.
hundreds of years before that?
No, it's just some Japanese mythology.
I think we're going to go ahead and round this thing out. End it up, and we're going to our top 3 odds are against us moments.
I dropped my pen.
Hey,
What was that?
a pin.
You have no honor.
That was his samurai sword.
You have no honor.
Not anymore.
An honorable man does not do that.
Whatever.
Max, go ahead and end this thing up, man. Round it out with some final thoughts.
Great samurai movie. Not the greatest samurai movie ever made. Not the greatest samurais ever. Not the greatest samurai characters ever. Sorry to bust your bubble, James. But very well done. I enjoyed it. Was never bored through it.
Mhm.
I liked the characters. I felt sympathy for them when something bad happened to them. I thought the villain was great.
I did too.
I thought it was a great villain.
He was no Hans Gruber. Can you give me that?
Who is?
Hans Gruber.
But I mean, you made the point that I didn't get any backstory on this villain. Well, I don't need backstory on a villain. I just need to know he's a bad guy.
You didn't have a backstory on
Good
Vader
Lord.
until the
Yeah.
You kind of
No,
know who
no.
he is though. You don't need the backstory to know. Who
Yeah,
this
I'm not
guy
talking
is.
about go back and show me
Privileged,
flat. I don't want to
evil.
see his family home videos, but I do want to know. I want to be
First time.
malevolently attracted to the guy somehow. Go ahead, Matt. By the way, you going to stick with your 7?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's wrap this up.
Sticking
You
with
gonna
the
stick with 7. Matt St. Hoodie, 2011, 13 Assassins.
I'm going to
What's
stay
your
with my
final
7 too. I would say watch this movie twice and watch for the character development between the two main guys, the friendship and how they don't want to fight each other, but they're honor and ethic bound to do so. That's where the story is.
Savage.
Because of the Flaming Bulls, I have to stick with my 9. If there weren't Flaming Bulls, this would be a 10. And this is a brilliant samurai film. It is the samurai film for this generation. If you're not a fan of Kurosawa, and I know Max is, he does make great samurai films, but they're from a different era. This is the samurai film for this era and this generation, and this is a brilliantly shot, brilliantly acted. There are thematic things in here that are important to see. I'm sticking with a 9. Watch it.
Okay. Adam, go.
like I said, the first part loved, but once I got to the second, I wish they would have kept with that same tone from the first part of the movie, and they even carried it out a little bit at the end. But that one little part, or the big epic battle, I just wish they would have kept it with the same tone as the whole movie. So I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to stick with an 8, but because it's still a great film.
Man, I am low man on the totem pole.
I think
My
I'm going to go to
honor
an
is a
8 just
question.
to say. I think I'm going to an 8. I have to. I
Okay.
have to.
I'm going to stick where I am. I'm 4. I really had a hard time watching this film. The themes, to me,
We're
without-
universal. Oh, I'm
Right.
sorry.
very universal. The whole honor thing is like, okay, got it, an honor. You know, that's one thing about like a movie you recently loaned to me and I liked. It was because we talk about pain and gain. I hate to bring pain and gain into a film like this, but it was like, okay, you don't abduct people and kill them. Enough said. Here's Tony Shalhoub. Let's have some fun. Okay.
Wait a minute.
What?
You own Pain and Gain?
Yep. You should watch Pain and Gain.
Okay.
But I bring that up because
I own The Room, too, so give me a break.
both of them make sense. But yeah, no personality to it. To me,
I don't know.
that's it. I'm gonna go with 4. Had a hard time with this one.
Different folks.
Yeah, different strokes, different folks. Different,
Top 3.
different sensibilities. Okay, guys, let's get into our top 3 of the week here, and that is inspired by this film, 13 Assassins,
By the 5'4"
by the 5'4"
monster of a man.
Yeah,
Takeshi
Takashi
Miike.
Takashi. Oh, Miike, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my
What?
mind.
Mine?
Okay.
Yeah. He didn't blow your mind.
My
No, he
sugar
didn't.
nougat.
Oh God, I got to get my hands on one of those. A sugar nougat.
We'll find one.
Is it honorable to eat one of those? That's all I got to know.
Yeah, it comes with a little Harry Carey knife. And you
Is it really?
eat it off of there.
Nice. I'm gonna find it. You better not be lying to me, man. Is there nougat? Do they have nougat in Japan? I want nougat. I'm a
They
big
have
nougat.
nougat everywhere. Who
It's
doesn't love
worldwide.
nougat?
It's sushi flavored nougat.
It crosses all cultural boundaries.
He just ruined my whole idea about this sugar daddy thing.
They have maple sugar nougats.
My God, you're gonna roll it in rice, aren't
There's
you?
some in the Urban Dictionary. I'm not thinking. I
No,
should
we're
be-
not doing that sugar nougat.
Never read
What's
the Urban
top 3?
Dictionary.
Oh yeah, top 3. Okay, top 3.
Top 3 candies.
This film,
Gumby bears.
Gumby bears.
I think they should be nerds at this point. This inspired our top 3. What was it? Top 3? No, hold on a second. Odds are against us moments.
Insurmountable odds.
Insurmountable
Defying the
odds.
odds.
You know what though? That was good. We should have won that. Insurmountable odds. This is top 3 insurmountable odds. Odds are against us moments in film. I think we should go with John Cowden first, right? You want to go with this number 3?
Not
Yeah.
moments in films, movies.
Movies are.
Was it moments in films?
It
I
could be
picked a
movies.
Whole
Okay,
movie.
let's go with either.
We always do whole movies.
All right, fine. All movies.
Or
Okay.
characters and
Where?
movies.
How about the theme of that movie would be this? I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
My apologies.
Thank you.
Allow me to apologize for my dishonoring of.
You know what we're going to ask of you at the end of the show.
I'll bring you a sugar nougat next week.
Okay. Top 3. John Cowden, because he's the one. Great friend of the show. Excellent friend of the show. He's going to lead off with his top 3. And his number 3, he's going First Blood.
Yeah.
What do you think of
Yeah.
that?
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Not bad.
You have Brian Dennehy and Dobermans chasing you up a mountain with a guy in a helicopter. You aren't getting out of there. You fall into a mine shaft. That's insurmountable, sir.
You're a Green
Yeah.
Beret.
And there's a pig.
Yeah.
It wasn't on fire. But
And you've got a bandana,
That's-
and a knife.
It was
which
like,
automatically makes you awesome.
I bet you I could outrun Brian Dennehy, though. I'm not afraid of that.
Of course.
I don't know. He's spunky.
He is. Oh, here's another one that's spunky. That's Adam.
Yay.
Yay!
Adam Bombs. What's your number 3?
Army of Darkness.
Okay.
Ash survived the night.
Is this Savage approved?
yeah. That's yeah. I'll go with that.
Against impossible odds.
Yes.
Because he had
Against-
skeletons and stuff, right?
A
More
whole,
than that.
A whole
slew
bunch of
of
them.
them.
Had an
And
army of
himself.
darkness.
Oh,
A whole
that's
bunch
right.
of him.
Oh, he had to fight
Badass.
himself. That's
Yeah,
right.
Badass.
Max to the Max Johnson.
The Dirty Dozen.
Ooh.
Because they were dirty and there were a dozen of them.
Wasn't 13, though. You know what would have made this movie better if they would have renamed it the Dirty Baker Dozen because there were 13.
That doesn't sound hard at all.
No.
I
The
haven't seen-
Dirty Dozen.
I haven't seen the movie in so long. Yeah, Insurmountable Odds. It's a good choice.
Great movie.
It's a great film, man. I haven't seen that in a long
And
time.
they had something on the line. If they
Their lives,
succeeded and
right?
got out alive, they were free.
Yeah.
Because they were all prisoners.
There you
So it was
go.
like Hogan's Heroes.
Please do not compare this to that piece of crap.
Hogan's
Matt
Dozens.
Saint
Yeah.
Hoodie, the patron saint of quality komotos. What's your number 3?
Polynesian
Well,
dragons.
I can't believe that these guys were able to take the mountain. I'm going with Ski Patrol.
Ski Patrol.
I mean, these guys won. I didn't see that coming a mile away.
Wow. A little bit of comedy there.
That was almost as good as Hot Dog the movie.
Do you know the street value of this mountain? Wait, that wasn't Hot Dog. That was Better
That's
Off
Better
Dead.
Off
Better Off
Dead.
Dead.
They still skied in that one.
Ski Patrol.
All right, man. Good choice. Savage.
I got
Hard
it.
sub Savage. What is it?
I'm going with the 13th theme. I'm going with 13th Warrior, Antonio Banderas and the Norsemen. They had to fight the fire worm and all that.
Oh,
With
nice.
only-
Don't you mean
All right.
Beowulf?
Yeah, really, basically. It was Beowulf.
It is Beowulf.
Eaters of the Dead.
Yeah. Okay, let me give you my number 3, okay? I'm going to go a little more recent. Because this is all about the odds, man. And may the odds always be in your favor. I'm going to go with the Hunger Games. I'm going to go with the Hunger Games. Come on, it's odds. May the odds
It's
always
also
be
the
in your
best
favor.
list. I don't think we
Also
grasped
a
the
rip
best.
off of
Anyway.
Battle Royale.
Yeah, it probably is, but still, I'm going with it.
Good.
May
That,
the
no, it makes
odds
sense to me.
always be in
Good
your
on
favor.
you.
And it's really not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, I like them both.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
The
Second
last,
one was much better.
last thing you'll ever see Philip Seymour Hoffman in, I do believe.
Well,
we were talking
the third
about
one.
that the other week.
Yeah. Is he going to be in that? The third
yeah,
one?
he had just finished his.
Did he really? Okay.
Almost finished his scene, so they'll be able to use him. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see like a CGI Jar Jar Binks version of Philip Seymour Hoffman. I'm glad they got him there.
Yeah, I would hate to see that.
Number 2. Oh, wait, we're up to John
Yeah,
Cowden.
what's Cowden's two?
Friend of the show, John Cowden. Man, thank you so much for bringing a little bit of heat to this episode. Gave us something to talk about. That's for sure. I'm the lone dissenter, the dishonorable dissenter. His number 2, Escape from New York.
Bliskin.
You like
Yeah.
that?
Yep.
What were the odds, you think?
I don't think Snake Plissken would have thought he had high odds. He was pretty sure he'd come out of it.
He had pretty bad odds. I mean, first he was in New York, which was a prison, and then he was poisoned.
They strapped
Yeah.
it to him, right?
Yeah.
The clock strapped, and they gave him a glider.
He was in a
Yeah.
tough spot. You know that.
No, the glider was in Escape from L.A.
Oh, my bad.
That's where he's surfing along Hollywood Boulevard.
I think. Was the glider in
glider
L.A.?
was in the first one. Remember
But he
they
didn't
live
have
on
glider in the
train?
That's how he
Okay.
got into New
Yeah.
York, I think.
Okay, my bad.
You're
Yeah,
bad.
that is how he got in. Okay,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah.
It's a good choice, man. Escape from New York. All right, Adam, the greatest producer in the history of the Q Filmcast. We're talking about our top 3 odds are against us. Insurmountable odds.
It's a big word. It's hard to remember.
In film. There you go, Adam. What's your number 2?
I'm going to go Evil Dead 2. Because Ash had to fight all those guys and the tree monsters and everything else. Odds were against him.
Do you see a theme
and he
here?
survived the night.
He survived the night.
Are we going to do a 3-2-1 deal?
Against impossible odds.
What are the odds of us knowing already what his number 1 is going to be?
You never know. I don't know.
Insurmountable.
All right. This is also inspired by the film 13 Assassins, and we are up to our number 2 for Max. What is your number 2 insurmountable odds movies?
Number 2 is Apollo 13. Also with a 13 in it.
Oh, look at that.
Number 3 had a dozen. This one's got 13.
Next one's got to have 14.
13 ghosts. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. We said good movies. Yeah, Apollo 13. I mean, that was crazy. And you knew how it was going to end, but you were still hooked through the whole thing. It was awesome. Ron Howard's best movie.
It's a good one.
It is
a good one. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Is good.
What do you got? Matt St. Hoodie, what you got?
The odds were against this guy getting his family all the way to Wally World. I'm
Excellent.
going with Vacation.
God, I love that. You're always there when I need you, man.
It's just, how did he do it? I don't know.
He had that BB gun and he shot John Candy.
You could break the skin and give a very serious infection.
That's incredibly right. That's right. You could break the skin with that.
I'm not going to break your skin, but you tell me what your number 2 is, Savage. What is it?
We few, we happy few.
I'm going Shakespeare.
Yeah, we are going Shakespeare. I would not wish more among us to fight this foe. Henry V, the Battle of St. Crispin's Day. Henry V had to fight the French in Antigone.
All right.
And
I like it.
And he overcame.
Against incredible odds.
And against incredible odds.
Pretty much every movie is against incredible odds.
Yeah, if you think about it, it's pretty much an
It's a
open
universal
theme.
theme,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
My number 2, I'm going to go Shawshank Redemption.
Mm.
What were the odds of him crawling his way out of prison? Pretty high.
He did have Morgan Freeman on his side.
Right?
Oh, and he was the longest night of my life.
They had that little hammer.
All right. And he had his little narrow body that fit in the tube.
All right, so that brings us to our number 1s, man. Number 1, insurmountable odd movies. So let's go over to John Cowden. He's going to finish it off here with his number 1. I'm liking this, man. This is Miracle.
Of course you would.
Of course.
And those odds.
I said that, yeah.
Yeah. We all picked that for either you or him.
I don't even want to get into it. Those are odds, all right? Good choice.
No, they weren't. They weren't insurmountable.
Yep,
Okay.
they were.
I don't think you know the backstory. Yeah, those were insurmountable odds. Adam, what's your number 1?
My number 1, do you know what it is?
Of course I do. The odds are always in my favor.
What is it?
It's Evil Dead 1.
Nope. My name is Bruce.
What the hell?
I don't even know what that means.
Because Ash survived the night.
Against incredible odds.
So it is Evil Dead.
No,
No.
my name is Bruce.
My name is Bruce.
Oh,
It's another movie.
okay.
Starring
Sorry.
Bruce Campbell.
Okay, that's the incredible odds. Okay.
I got to tell you, that's brilliant. That is brilliant.
I'll take your word for it. Max Gumbo Johnson. Reveal it. What is your number one insurmountable odds movie?
I wanted to pick Blade Runner.
What?
Well, yeah, I mean, I had to pick out 3 robots from like a billion people, but it didn't have a number in it. So I had to go with the greatest insurmountable odds movie ever. Maybe not ever, but it's got a number in it.
13 going on 30.
13 going on 30. No, not 13 going on 30. Seven Samurai. The samurai movie. And it's got a number in it. And it's got insurmountable odds. And it's the best samurai movie ever.
What you got, Matt St. Hoodie? Number one. Go.
Bunch of kids, some gadgets, some booby traps, some pirates, some jewels.
Say it ain't so.
Goonies.
Goonies.
Nice.
Who doesn't
Nobody got that?
Who doesn't want to be a
Speaking
Goonie?
of candy bars,
Yeah. Chunk.
Chunk loved his candy.
Yeah, he did.
He did that little dance for it, too.
Savage, what you going to go with? What's your number one?
Against all odds, against kidnapping, against intelligence.
I thought that was your number one.
Yeah,
Against all odds.
yeah, right. No, against kidnapping, against torture, against strength, against skill, against intelligence, against even death. He defied all these odds. The dread pirate Roberts or Wesley and Princess Bride.
That's nice.
That is insurmountable.
Yeah.
I thought you were going
It's
with Reno Williams.
inconceivable the amount of odds he overcame.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
There's a dude with 6 fingers in there, too.
Inconceivable. I do not think you know what that means, what you think it means. Yeah. Mandy Patinkin, yeah. All right, so it's up to me, number one?
Number one.
God, I've been bouncing these around. I had a tough time with this one because it's like there's so many, and but I did land on Apollo 13.
It's got a number in it.
It has the same number in it. You see the tie in there?
Jeez, I would say how they shot that movie versus the story that's still insurmountable odds.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's
right.
just plummet an airplane.
Right.
That'll work.
It probably cost more to make the movie than it did to send them to the moon and back.
Yeah.
It may have.
It's a period piece when people are still smoking at their desks, too. That's one thing I took from that film.
Or in the hospital.
Yeah, in the hospital. Nice. Yeah, so that's my number one. I could have went different directions. I'm going to give some honorable mentions, though. You know what Cowden said? Cowden said, I also thought of Rocky, Hoosiers, Black Hawk Down, 300. Yeah, we were soldiers.
300, man.
300, man. I mean, anything with a number in it.
That was on my list.
Wild
It's got
bunch.
a number in it.
I also have Airplane and Trains, Planes, and Automobiles because John Candy was just the most annoying man
God, I
ever.
love his list.
Summer School, I didn't see those kids passing. Not for a second.
No. Let's get
I want to give an honorable mention to any 80s movie starring Chuck Norris,
Van Damme,
Sylvester Stallone, or Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Or Steven Seagal.
Or a
Jean-Claude Van
combination
Damme.
of,
American
but
Ninja
any
Guy.
Chuck Norris 80s movie
Yeah.
is against incredible.
Nice tie-in. Yesterday was his birthday. No,
No, I
Chuck
didn't
Norris,
know that.
70 years old.
Whatever.
All right, so
Not
we're
by
gonna
the time this airs.
Okay,
so
I want to
that's-
finish out my list
Go.
because they all have numbers. Assault on Precinct 13, Kill Bill Volume 2, Kill Bill Volume 2, Ocean's 11, Around the World in 80 Days, and Airport 77.
Nice.
They
So I
didn't have
guess this
numbers
is
in
this is going to wrap up this show, guys. This was 2011, 13 Assassins. A lot of people want us to talk about this. A lot of people love this film. Max to the Max Gumbo Johnson.
Which is it? To the Max or Gumbo?
It's
Guys?
Gumbo.
Sorry, it
Gumbo
comes out
Bears.
naturally. Max Gumbo Johnson. It's your pick next week, man. Roll it out. Cue it up. What you going to give us?
I'm going to lighten things up a bit. I'm going with Zoolander.
What?
Yep, we're going to talk
What?
about Zoolander.
And maybe
Next
have a
week-
gasoline fight.
Have you seen this?
Next week, we're going to
Who's seen this film?
talk about
Everybody.
some
One
kids.
of my favorite films.
We're going to talk about some kids who can't read good.
But one-
Y'all
Is this
just need
made
to,
for ants?
everyone needs to relax.
Everybody bring your tiny cell phone and your scooter so we can talk about Zoolander.
I'm looking
And
forward
your
to this one.
keyboard necktie.
and Magnum. We'll all
and
put
your
on
blue
our Magnum.
steel.
Bring your look.
Yeah. For bringing blue steel. All right.
All right.
Tigre.
That's next week, guys. Max Gumbo Johnson says, lighten it up. Talk to me about Zoolander.
Perfect timing
it.
because the sequel is on the way.
Do it. Oh, my God.
Do it.
Yeah.
We don't know what that was. That was nobody sitting at this table.
Did
What was
Beaker
that?
just enter the room? I think somebody just let the air out of
It's
a
a
balloon
minion.
slowly.
So that's it. That's this week's show, 13 Assassins. Thanks as always for tuning into the Q. Sayonara, however you say it. Good night, all.